All right. Moving on. Topic number 3, Kevin. Guilty pleasure games. Do you guys have any games that you just feel nasty playing?
Nasty.
Matrix Reloaded?
Oh, man.
Really?
You're going back. No, wait, no. Enter the Matrix.
Enter the Matrix, yes.
The
Enter
one
the
that was
Matrix.
totally like
It was
rushed
just
and it was empty.
It was rushed,
Yeah, I remember that game very
garbage,
well.
everything. But I had so much fun going into like slow-mo bullet time and like shooting people up and say that. And I put way too many. I bring this up all the time, but I put way too many hours into Perfect Dark Zero.
You wanted that game to be good.
I did.
So bad.
And I
Alfredo
played like 60 hours of that MP.
This
it was
motherfucker,
terrible. It
he
controlled
put
horribly
so
wrong.
much time into it. He bought the books. He read all the books. He's
did
like,
read the
dude,
novel.
the story's good. I swear the story's good. It's like, I don't think the story's good, Alfredo. You were lying.
It
to
was
yourself.
just, yeah,
But yeah, I remember you played that a lot.
more than I should have played it.
Something tells me, Colin, that you have
A treasure
list.
trove.
Well, I have a ton of guilty pleasure games just because I talk a fucking mean game about more casual games, more touch centric games, but when they come to a platform I actually want to play, then I'll start playing them. So like the Vita is a good example of like games that like Men's Room Mayhem or Nun Attack or something like that, where it's like these are like very iOS games that like
Nun Attack. Please explain.
Nun Attack is a game where you play as nuns and they're all like holding like machine guns and stuff like that, like different guns, and you're like just using the touchscreen to like direct them to fight enemies. That's a surprisingly engaging game. But what's so funny, and it shows my own hypocrisy in a way, is that they're iOS games that were ported to a platform that I actually want to play, so I play them. And so
Once you get trophies, you're fine.
yeah, and it's just I don't know, I don't want to play phone games, like, but if they come to other platforms, I'll play.
So Men's Room Mayhem.
Yeah, I love that.
Explain.
Men's Room Mayhem was a game that was made by a few dudes that used to work at Sony Liverpool, I think, right?
Is that right?
And Sony Liverpool closed. Those were the guys that did like Wipeout and Colony Wars and stuff. And it's a game where you are in a bathroom in a bar or in a restaurant, and there's like 8 different levels or whatever, and you have to just direct people coming in and out so they can pee and shit and wash their hands without like colliding with each other and not spending too
So
much
it's
time in
like
the bathroom.
Diner Dash, but
Yeah,
in a
exactly.
bathroom.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. There's an undeniable hook to more casual games, right? Like one of my favorite games of the last generation is Plants vs Zombies, and I wouldn't consider that rather a guilty pleasure, but that is a casual game that introduced a lot of people to what we know as tower defense, but they never had played a game like that before. So there's a lot of games like that, especially on Vita, that I download for $2 or $3 or $5 and go crazy with it. And so, but my ultimate guilty pleasure game is Naughty Bear for sure.
Naughty.
Because I authentically love that fucking game, and that's like not a joke. You know, like I love that game, and it runs at like a solid 5 or 6 frames a second, and
It's solid though.
it is a solid, yeah.
The frames you're seeing are definitely solid frames.
But I'm trying, like, I have more guilty pleasure like music and stuff than anything like that. But with games are so time consuming. I've actually come around. We decided when we kind of signed the Great Trophy Armistice in 2011 that we were gonna stop playing shitty games for trophies because we were like at each other's throats with that. And I put Greg away a long time ago, to be fair. But I stopped playing games that were shitty just for trophies, and a lot of those were guilty pleasure games.
Yeah.
Like when you got the Hannah Montana Platinum.
Yes. For the record, that was not part of the Armistice. It was like we wouldn't cheat, we wouldn't do this kind of stuff.
But we stopped. But
You
we
agreed to stop playing stuff. I remember for when I was still trying to be a part of this, when I was still a PlayStation team head, I was still playing shitty games, so I wanted to, because that was always your crutch for why I was beating you. That's why you did it. You didn't. You just did it to have the higher hill, and then once I left the PlayStation team, you overtook me, as it should be.
Yeah, I'm way ahead of you now.
Yeah.
I remember, Alfredo, you got pretty down that game.
Oh, in terms of achievements?
Yeah.
Yeah, it got to the point where I started a GameFly subscription, and then I started renting games purely for achievements.
Oh, sure.
And I was achievement whoring.
Mm-hmm.
I got
Penguins
to
in Madagascar.
Yeah, got to like 50K, but it was just, I don't know. I just got to the point where I was like, why?
Yeah,
I just
that
feel
happens to everybody.
Like a cheap whore after.
Why am I doing this? Why am I spending 30 hours in a flight simulator game that I don't care about just to get 1,000 gamer score?
There was a game, I remember there was one specific game that I came over to your house and you were playing. I was just like, what are you doing right now? I don't remember what it was.
King Kong?
There was a lot. Yep,
No.
I played King Kong.
That was one of
after
the
that.
easiest ones I remember.
Yeah, that was easy. Avatar, whatever the Airbender game
Oh
was.
yeah, the one that you just hit B for
Yeah,
like,
you
what
said
was
B
it?
for like
7 minutes. It wasn't even long. Yeah,
And you
yeah.
get like 1K in gamer score. That was simple.
Man.
Yeah.
I would
That's
literally
just
just get it
ridiculous.
in, like play it for a super short amount of time and then send it right back out.
Yeah.
But it was like, why am I doing
Terminator
this?
Salvation.
I'm spending so
Screaming at
much
the TV.
time.
That game was hard too.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. When you're talking about the iOS games, I don't so much consider them guilty pleasures because like they are just games, but it's just like the fact that they're not hardcore and like whatever. And if you're with real gamers, they're gonna judge you. But like Jetpack Joyride took way too much of my life away from me.
I do remember that phase you had.
But the thing about that game is, have you guys played it?
Oh yeah.
It just like it's such a simple thing. It reminds me of the old Flash games with the helicopter just going through.
Sure.
You hold the mouse up, like click it, and it goes through. But this had power ups. This had vehicles. This had this like upgrade system. And I was like, this is amazing game design. I never spent a penny on it. And it's like that's what I like. I kept coming back to it. But then you reach this point where you're like, why? Like why am I putting more time into this? Why do I need the Ultimate Dragon vehicle unlocked? I
That
don't.
Sounds fucking awesome.
But it's like if I get that, it'll make it easier to unlock the next thing. It's like, oh, they got me.
Yeah.
That's it. They got me. But Kingdom Rush was another one where it's just like spent way too much time with that. And now my newest addiction is Peggle in any form.
Peggle's
Peggle's
fun.
It's like my God,
But that's not
really
even a
fun.
guilty pleasure. Peggle's awesome.
it is. But
I guess that's
Peggle,
what are you
Peggle
defining it?
Blast is a
Oh,
guilty,
right.
sick, fucking twisted desire.
And this is the one you have to quit out of, right?
Yeah, and I do. Oh God, Greg.
So you don't get hung up on the microtransactions
Yeah.
or whatever. You quit.
We can do
You
this
hard
thing.
quit.
Thanks to you guys for letting me know. Like during the boss fights, which you have to beat 5 levels in a row, and it's designed. It's like an arcade game that like is designed to like eat quarters. This is
gonna
designed to
fuck
make
you
you
over,
fucking pay for items and shit. I ain't doing that. So it's like if you in between matches quit the game, it'll reset your lives.
Huh.
Oh man, I do it.
Speaking of Peggle, and it's kind of off topic, but like on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/AlfredoPlays. Great. We hit 400 subs, so I was like, all right, cool. For that milestone, we're gonna do a 12-hour stream. Plus, I'm gonna teach my grandma how to play a game on
my
stream. Peggle is one of the games I'm choosing.
When is this happening?
This is happening this coming Saturday.
Okay, so if you're a Patreon subscriber,
Yeah,
getting
Yeah,
this on
catch you on
Thursday, Friday.
that's
Saturday.
I'm gonna
gonna
teach you how to play Peggle,
be amazing.
and then other games.
Alfredo's grandma, one of the best human beings in the entire world.
Yeah, shit's about to get real.
She's a god. Like
Are we getting a
Alfredo's
grandma
grandma.
emote?
Oh my, yeah, we could.
We need
yeah.
it. We need
We
it.
need a Gma emote.
Gma emo.
But Alfredo's grandma, like the closest person I can relate to her is Nick Scarpino, just in the sense of like, she's so cool and like she's so funny and she's so
Out
much more
there and
ridiculous than like
Than you think.
than you would think. But then once
Yeah.
you hang out with her for like 5 minutes, you're like, how does a person like this actually exist?
Yeah.
It's a real good time. They should meet. That would be
Bring her
be
to the
good.
live show.
Yeah, the live show.
Yeah. Oh god,
Yeah.
that's gonna be an adventure. Live show May 16th, San Francisco.
So excited for
One
that.
night only.
Bit.ly/kindoffunnylive.
One night.
Trying to think of other games. I mean, definitely know during the PS2
I-
era there was a lot of bad ones. DDR. I had a really bad. I mean, I love DDR and it's a good game.
So here's what
Yeah.
this is what you need to explain for the audience. What are you're starting to skew. What is your definition of a guilty pleasure?
Because
I mean, 'cause
DDR
here's
doesn't
the
seem
thing.
like guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
What is it?
That doesn't seem like a guilty pleasure game.
Here's the thing. I'm embarrassed by it, so I think it's a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, guilty
Right.
pleasure
Okay.
is kind of subjective.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that guilty pleasure needs to be like.
For me, I was gonna say I don't have any guilty pleasure because but I mean, like if we're gonna like when we're talking about like the games I've played for trophies or
Yeah.
games I've played for longer than like my 86 hours of Mario Golf World 2 or my 600 hours of DC Universe Online, those are still achievements for me. I'm still very proud of all
Yeah.
of those numbers. But if that
You can be proud of your guilty pleasures.
okay,
You ain't no nerd.
and you know nerd.
But yeah, I put way too much time into DDR. Like in all of its incarnations, including like without the dance pad. Like I just like hitting the buttons. I just like rhythm games though. So it's like there might be that, but it's like I played like all the DDR games from like the PS1 generation. I didn't play any of the PS3, so it was just PS1, PS2 era. But that included like DDR Mario mix on GameCube.
Yeah.
I was all about that shit. That was fun.
Do, do.
But like yeah, buying that, I felt weird. Definitely felt weird.
When you feel weird buying a game.
I felt weird buying Space Channel 5 on the Dreamcast.
See, I think
That
it's
was
this
a weird
music
one to
thing,
buy.
music games. Because
Yeah.
Karaoke Revolution Volumes 1 and 2,
Yeah.
big fan of that game. But it's like I shouldn't have been.
So like I should guilty pleasure for me is SingStar. I should be is that one because I have
Yeah.
all the videos of me in a Ghostbuster outfit
The
dancing.
subjectiveness of it is that if you're not embarrassed, if like Tim felt like he should have been embarrassed.
Well,
about it.
that's the thing. I
But you
wasn't though.
necessarily
I
feel like
should
you're
have been,
embarrassed.
but I wasn't. I think that's for me the guilty pleasure thing. It's just like I don't give a fuck. Like I'm gonna do me. It's what I do.
Do you?
It's what got me
I'm
this
gonna
far.
be me doing me.
Exactly. It's a good person to be.
Who's
but
gonna do me?
I'll do you.
there's a lot of people.
Thank
that
you.
will do
There you
Colin.
Thank you.
Yeah, guilty pleasure. I haven't ever really thought about it, about what exactly it means. But I feel like everyone does have a sense of the things that come in their head when they hear it. So that's what they are.
It's like how I'll argue that Superman Shadow of Apocalypse on PS2 was a pretty good Superman game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's also something called just a wrong.
No, it's not a wrong.
Trying to think of other ones. Like I'm trying to think of like they're all music games that are coming to mind, but Spice World on
The PS1, right?
yeah, on PS1. I had a lot of fun with that. You can remix songs.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
took,
so like
Wannabe.
Disney's Britney's Dance Beat. That's
That
a
was
good
my
one.
next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, on a PS2.
Yeah.
Where you like twirled the analog
Right.
sticks.
That was during my summer where Blockbuster debuted the Rent All You Want.
Yeah.
As many games out, and I went down the aisle getting every game, like alphabetically. I was gonna take home every game that summer.
That's so funny. I also got it for that same Blockbuster deal, but I was not going down. I just went straight for Britney.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that was
As
fun.
it should be.
You always go straight for Britney.
Always.
Yeah.
All the time.
For
What if Christina Aguilera is there?
Oh, yeah, Christina.
She's rolling around in the sand. I'm about it.
Yeah, that Maxim cover. You know what I'm talking
I
about?
think it's just talking
Wait,
about Genie
Christina
in a bottle.
in the sand or Britney in Schoolgirl?
Done. I mean, that's not even a fucking question.
This
Britney,
is the
always.
definitive
They're
argument.
contemporaries. I mean, I loved them both. I think Britney came a little earlier, and so I think that that imagery just really resonated with 9th grade Colin in a way that
Yeah.
it was
It made
hard
you
to
come earlier,
explain
too.
really. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It happens. All right, let's move on.